It's Vicky back with another alcohol ink painting. So as always, I start with a piece of Durabrite paper and then I add my colors on there, my inks, and then I get my squeegee tool and I push those inks around with air, and then now I'm using a kind of a heated gun thing. Oh, there I am. Hey, hey. And I get that background nice and dry. And then I just start in. This one I decided to do a duck and some ducklings. So I put a little outline of the duck and the ducklings on there. You can kind of see them on there. I use a light table to do that with. I just get an outline and put it behind the paper on top of the light table so I can see through the paper, and then do a little outline so that I can get the proportions correct. And then I take a Q-tip with isopropyl alcohol and block out the shapes. But with this one, I couldn't really do a lot of that because I didn't want to remove a lot of the ink. This one was a little different than the ones that I usually do because of the feathers, and I really wasn't sure how to go about doing the feathers. So I just kind of took my time and kind of, I guess, built them up. I'm not sure how to explain it. But I really wanted them to look like feathers because, usually when I do animals, I do fur or their scales or, whatever it is. And I haven't done a lot of feathers. I have, I guess I've done a couple birds before, but this one, the feathers are so different colored, like they're dark and light at the same time. And so I really wanted to get that effect in there on this duck so that it really showed the intricacy, I guess, of the colors in the duck. Now, this lighting, again, my lighting, I don't know what I'm doing here, but not that great. But in the other angle, you'll see that it's even harder to see. I added another light thinking it made it better, and it kind of made it worse. But that's all right. We're just going to keep going with it. So what I do is I use alcohol ink markers to add ink. And then I'm using my paintbrush with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on it to move the inks around to where I want them to go. As soon as you touch the isopropyl alcohol to the alcohol inks that are dried on the paper, they become wet again. So then you're able to move the ink and then it just dries right up again. So that's a really great feature, I guess, of alcohol inks, but it's also something that if you're just starting out, you really have to have a light touch, and so that you can kind of control where those inks go, because it's really, really easy to get too much alcohol on there and have it just kind of get runny and make a mess. So you just have to be careful with what you're doing this all. And I guess just practice. I just started doing these paintings. It's been about 4 months now, I guess. And I feel like I'm getting better at it every one I do. I think I'm on like painting number, I don't know, 26 or 27, something like that. Sorry about this lighting on this. Look at it. Ugh. I'm so sorry. When I added the other light, it kind of made this weird sheen on there, so it's hard to really make out all the details in there. So I don't spend too much time on this angle in this video, just a little bit for variety. Hopefully you can see more of the detail from the top view. So we'll get back to that in just a second. There we go. You can see now I'm adding more darks into the painting and getting those darks in there. And then you'll see that I try to take out so that I have the lights. It's important to get a variety of lights and darks into your painting, a nice value change. This painting just took a long time, as you can see by the length of this video. It's a lot longer than all my other ones just because it just took me all day to do it. And I think a lot of the reason though is because not only the intricacy of those feathers, but also because there's actually going to be five ducks in here, like the mama duck and then four ducklings. And whenever I put more than one animal into a painting, it just takes so much longer because each animal has its own little fine little details in there. And I did another painting that was a bird's nest and it had quail in it, and there was four of them. And I was like, oh, okay, never again am I going to do this many animals because it just took so long to do each one. And after I finished the first one, then I'm like, oh, I wish I was done. And then I just have to keep going. But in this one, it just, a duck, like a mama duck with the ducklings just seemed so cute. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do it. So, and it did turn out really cute. You'll see at the end here when it's done. But man, it took a long time. And those feathers just took forever. And as you can see, I just keep going on and on and on. But I really wanted to get it right. So, and that's kind of how I do all the paintings. I just sit there and look at it. I just assess as I go. I paint a part of it, then I go back to another part, and I'm just assessing as I go and doing what needs to be done in the painting. So now I'm doing the beak and just doing the fine details of that. There's just a lot of little parts to it. This painting was so delicate, and I used the same brush when I did it, but I kept pushing the brush together so that I would have like a point to it at the end. So if it's hard for you to see that I'm doing that, but I'm pinching it between my fingers so I can get a nice point on there to make sure that I'm getting into those little tiny spots in into in this duck. So here's the eye. I tried to get it real close up so you could see, but my hand's getting in the way, and I don't know if you can really tell what I'm doing, but uh, just just the details, just a fine light touch with everything that's going on in there. It's a tiny, it's a little eye, and then when I do the ducklings, it's even smaller eyes, so I can't even get close enough for you to really see what I'm doing. But yeah, I feel like the fine details of these paintings matter. I think it kind of makes a big difference if you really take time and get it right. That's just how I do it. I've seen other paintings, alcoholic paintings that are less detailed but super cool, and they're a little more painterly. I'm just such a detailed person. I always have been. I spend so much time on things. I like those fine little details. And it's hard for me to be like a loose painter. I think that's why I'm liking this medium because the backgrounds I have no control over, and they just do whatever they're going to do. And then I can take that abstract and that looseness, and then I can put my fine detail in there. And I think the contrast of that makes for a really, really interesting painting. At least that's what I think. It's just kind of crazy in the background there, and then I try to get the details and the realism of the animals. So now I'm working on these little ducklings, and I blocked in some of the colors to start with. And I'm just going in then with my paintbrush and moving those inks around to where they need to go, and then adding color as I go. I'm adding in the darks now and the lights, making sure I put some of that yellow in them from the background. And I don't know if you'll probably see, but I did go back and put some more yellow into the mama duck as well. I felt like she needed a little more yellow. I like to take those colors that are in the background and use those colors in the animals themselves. That creates unity in the painting, and I just think it makes for a really nice painting. So these little guys, oh, we're so little. It was a challenge to get in there and get those details in there, but I think they turned out really cute in the end. They just take a long time. That's all. And patience, I guess. But I guess I just really enjoy painting, and I really enjoy just spending time in my studio and having it quiet. I think I had music on when I was doing this, but just having music and just it's very peaceful to me, and kind of centers me to be able to do this art. So it's been a fun summer just doing so much art. I'm a teacher, and so I go back to school. I think we start in like 2.5 weeks. And so I'm like, oh, I got to get all my painting done in 2.5 weeks. And I only work 3 days a week. So I do have 4 days a week to paint. But I still, I have to do laundry and clean my house and do all that stuff too. So, but hopefully I'll be able to get lots of paintings done and do more videos. And because I'm really having fun, not only doing the paintings, but these videos are fun for me too. I like to, like, I don't know, watch myself paint, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of weird, but it's true. Because then I don't know, I learned stuff watching myself paint too. Like, oh, maybe I should do that differently next time. Or, oh, that's interesting how I did that. Because I kind of just zone out when I'm doing it. I'm not even really thinking too much about it. I'm just kind of going along and doing it. So if you're just starting out, and I spent so much time in my life being scared of what if it doesn't turn out, or what if it looks bad, or what if I'm no good at this, or I spent so much time doing that I didn't really explore what I could do. Like, I didn't know until not even less than a year ago that I could really paint animals and paint realism. I didn't know that. I studied art in college, but I always painted abstract. And I think because I didn't know or didn't think that I could do something like this. And then last, I don't know, September maybe, I decided I was going to paint again. And I got a canvas and some paint. I was doing acrylic painting. And I just decided, okay, I'm just going to get the paint on the canvas. Like, that was my goal, just to get the paint on the canvas. I don't care what it looks like. It doesn't matter. I'm just getting paint on the canvas. So I did this painting, and it was these big flowers. And then I thought, I'm going to put a bear in there because I like bears. And so I put this bear in there, and it turned out pretty good. And so then I just kind of went from there. And I discovered that I really love painting animals. And then when I discovered alcohol inks just 4 months ago, I just kind of been going crazy with it. And so I guess my point is, it's never too late to learn something new and figure out what you can do, and don't let fear get in the way. Just go for it. Just try it. Sometimes I think, oh my gosh, if I had just done this, 20 years ago, where would I be at now? But I'm doing it now. It's never too late. So just go for it, I guess. Okay, back to the painting. So I'm on my last little guy here, and gonna put his little eye in a minute, and getting his beak done, and then the last part of this painting was to get these guys into the water. So once I get this last guy done, I think at that point then I put the yellow into the mama again. Yeah, there's the yellow going back into the mama. Then I get my markers, and I just start making little ripples around the mama and the babies. And I don't really know if I knew what I was doing. I just thought, I'm just going to go for it. And so I just marked them in with the marker. And then I went back through with my brush and kind of moved the inks around. And then I ended up going back in with just some plain alcohol and taking out some of the paint that I put in there to make it more water-like. I don't know, ripply. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what I was doing so much. I was looking at my reference photo, but it didn't really help that much. So I just winged it. Um, but it needed it, they needed to be grounded, or I guess watered. I don't know. They need to be put in the water. So, so that's what I did. So they're going for uh, their little morning outing. That's what this painting is called, morning outing. And it's close to being done, I think. Yeah. Um, there you go. This is better lighting. This is more what it looks like. Okay, morning outing. We'll see you next time. Thanks.